Morning. Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 2 of the Retro Corner, and today I'm actually using the machine I was working on in episode 1, which is my IBM ThinkPad, whatever it's called. What is this thing called? R51E. So I need to get this working. Well, it is working. But I need to download some stuff to it, specifically Nero Burning ROM. Sorry, I heard somebody. Nero Burning ROM, because I need to get the DVD drive working, because what the actual part of this video is going to be is getting my iBook G3, which is the iBook G3. It's got a model number A1007, and from what I can gather, this is called the Ice. The original iBook G3 was kind of coloured similarly to the iMac, but this, on the other hand, looks very similar to the iBook G4. So I bought this last week. It comes with OS 10, 10 point something. I'm going to format that and install 9.2.2, which is the latest. Well, it's the oldest version of OS X 9 that can be installed on it. And then the second machine I'm going to get set up is this, which is my PowerBook G4. So this is from 2004, and it's A1095. It's a PowerBook G4. There is a DVD-ROM drive on it. It's got USB. It's got all the usual bits and pieces. But when I went to boot it up, there's no OS installed on it. Now, this is actually my machine. All of these are my machines, but I bought this back in 2005, around 2005, probably early 2004, 2005 time frame. I think it was new. I think it was new in box, or it was close enough to new. I bought it off a friend of mine, and yeah, I used it for quite a long time. I don't know the specs of it. I have no idea. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've used this. So my tasks for today is, number 1, to get Nero Burning ROM downloaded and installed on the ThinkPad. I've had a look. It's up on the archive.org, so I'm going to download it from there. Number 2 is to then burn a copy of the OS X. I think it's 9.2 or 10.2, 10.3, possibly even 10.4 for the PowerBook G4, and then OS 9.2.2 for the iBook. So without further ado, let's get into it and see what I break. Okay, so the iOD is back in service. So I've downloaded the ISO from archive.org. I agree to the terms and conditions. I'm going to install, actually, install custom. What's, ew, okay. Doesn't like something, shadow dock. Anyway, next, install, let's see what happens. So, yeah, downloaded Burning ROM, Nero Burning ROM of archive.org. I think it's version 5 point something or other. I've put it onto the iOD the ISO is on there. The iOD is then plugged into the machine, and the image is visible through here. And yeah, I actually, hang on a minute. Out settings. Let me just check something. HDD. Yeah, okay. So weirdly enough, the hard drive is not visible. So now to get the ISOs, the actual Mac ISOs onto this box, because they're not mounted. It's not seen for some reason. Okay, anyway, yeah, on to the next challenge. Actually, hold on. So there's Nero Burning RAM installed. And let me just double check. Ahead Nero Burning RAM, version 5. Image recorder is a virtual drive, and then there's my DVD RAM, which is in here. It's got buffer underrun protection, so no making of coasters. And yeah, happy days. 3.6 megabytes a second I can write at. So okay, I wonder what CD text is. Okay. Damn it. Okay, so downloaded the wrong version of Burning RAM. It's not supported on this drive. Crap. Okay, now to figure out how to write ISOs in Windows 2000. Feck. Okay. Damn it. I knew there was gonna be something that would trip me up there. So, I cannot, for some reason, get... Well, Nero won't work, and the external hard drive is not visible. The iOD storage is not visible. And so I've come up with a cunning plan. If that is, I can remember my French. By the looks of things, it doesn't see the IOD. Oh wait, hold on, the IOD is still built, never mind. Okay, so the IOD does sometimes take a few minutes to boot for some reason, but essentially, if all goes to plan, when the iOD starts, we should see a CD drive, which would be Nero, which we can ignore, and a second drive, which would be the internal hard drive from the iOD. The internal hard drive from the iOD should then have multiple thingies on it. Hey, okay, so the CD drive works. So the iOD, which I restart because that should not take that length of time to boot. There we go. So let's have a look. What does the iBook see? The iBook sees nothing. Huh. Okay. Back to square one. Leave it with me. Okay, so a little while later, I have now I robbed a USB key from somewhere, and with the keys there. I robbed a USB key from somewhere. It's 50 odd gigs, which, well, it's 64 gigs, but it's kind of funny given that the hard drive in the iBook is actually 40. So this disk is bigger than the hard drive of the machine that it's in. Now, it's taken its time to format, and it's quite late. It's 1:30 in the morning. It's not actually 1:30 in the morning. It's closer to 9:15, but the MacBook, or the iBook, whatever this thing is called, thinks it's 1:15 in the morning. Or, well, 1:30 in the morning. So, Uber Dessin Mac. It's a 900 megahertz PowerPC G3. It's got 640 megs of SD RAM. And yay, there's that USB drive is formatted. So I don't know what any of this means, given that it's in German. But that USB drive is now formatted. So I export that. I'm going to pop that into my other machine, copy the ISOs in, write them from this machine. I've got all of my CDs floating around. I've even got an ISO of Leopard. Well, beta copy of Leopard. That's how old that CD stack is. There's CDs and DVDs in there. I'll write a copy of 9.2.2 for this, and 10 point something for the PowerBook, and yeah, we see where we go. So I'll be back. Okay, so first things first, the copy of macOS 9.2.2 that I got off the archive, off the Internet Archive, is actually a zip file, not an ISO. So when trying to burn that, it doesn't seem to want to work. Also, my stack of DVD discs doesn't seem to be being read. So this is now, I'm trying to write a cock. I wonder, is that the problem? First things first, is this actually a writable DVD drive? And second of all, these are DVD plus or discs. So, right, I think I might be ending up going back to Windows. Right. Yeah, it doesn't like that disc. Okay. Right. I'll leave that zip file on archiving, and I'm gonna give up for the night actually, because I'm yeah, my head is wrecked with this. So I'm giving up for the moment, and I'll be back at this at some stage tomorrow. Okay, leave it with me. Bye. Right. So I spent way too much time trying to get Nero working. Just wouldn't play ball on this machine. But then I found Image Burn and realised that one, it's free, and two, it works on Windows 2000. So I am successfully writing the the CD drive, or the CD image for macOS 9.2.2, which is going to be installed on the iBook. But for some reason this machine will not run, or I cannot get this to write DVDs. Not completely sure why. Now, in reality, if I can get the iBook working, I will be happy, because then at least that part is done. I have ordered replacement drives, so I've got a replacement SSDs for all three machines. So there's a 64 gig SSD going into adapters for both the iBook and the PowerBook. They're arriving tomorrow. It's lunchtime on Thursday when I'm trying to write this. So yeah, the drive for the iBook and the drive for the iBook and the PowerBook are going to be 64 gigs, and the drive for the IBM is going to be 128. I might try install Windows XP and see if I can get this drive to actually write a in-image and then go back to Windows 2000 at a later stage, which is pretty typical when you think about it, given the amount of time I had to spend getting this thing to work in the first place, and now I actually have to go off and format and reinstall it. I suppose I could potentially image the hard drive to the SSD, might make life easier, or at least take an image of the hard drive and then be able to overwrite it. Well, we'll see we'll figure out what happens anyway. So at least this part is working. Take another 5-6 minutes to write, so 11 minutes all in to write a CD. It's about 600 bytes, 600 gig, 600 megs. I think it's 600 meg. Anyway, yeah, we will see what happens, and hopefully I can get the iBook running. So yeah, let's see where we go from here. Okay, so after a lot of messing around, I have managed to get macOS building on the iBook. The display resolution is very weird, and the drive is making a lot of noise, but I do have it building, which is good. So this is the first time I'm actually installing macOS True, or macOS 9 anyway. It's the first time I performed a clean install. Yep. So there's not on this thing, so I'm gonna do a clean install. Continue. I agree with all the terms and conditions. Start. Okay. Let's see what happens. 52 minutes. 50 minutes. Okay. I think the battery on this is dead because the time is definitely wrong. It says it's 12 o'clock. It's after 5. So, and it's always, every time I restart this, it changes the time. So, okay, I'm going to leave that run for a bit, and we see what ends up happening. So, good morning. For the moment, I've given up on the iBook, just purely to try and get this video out. iBook is technically working in that it's building OS 9. I think I've got drivers missing. I do need to try sort that one out. But essentially, I am now trying to get the PowerBook up and running. So I've just burned the DVD, 10.4 DVD, and it's obviously building, and hopefully we can install whatever needs to be installed on this. Something I've noticed, and I didn't realize this, the PowerBook, or neither the iBook or the PowerBook have cameras in them. I always thought the PowerBook had a camera. But anyway, that's just me. On an related note, so I am currently, the office, my office out the back garden, has multiple Ethernet cables into the cloud shed, which I'd point out the window, but the washing is out at the moment. And I've got multiple Ethernet connections in here. And essentially, the way I have this set up is it's plugged into one of these little Unify Flex Minis. It's powered by USB-C, and the yellow cable here is connected to an adapter, a coupler. And the reason for that is because the cable is too short to come out. Originally, the plan was that they were actually going to be sockets on the wall, but for some reason I didn't do that. Anyway, so I have this hooked up here. This is my internet connection, and then this one goes to my docking station, which is hooked up to my MacBook Pro or anything else. But the other 3 ports on this I have now set up as VLANs. Well, they're all on the retro VLAN, which is VLAN 95 for Windows 95. And the plan going forward is anything on the network, we will get hooked up to VLAN 95, and then that way I can do whatever needs to be done. So if I'm spinning up an old server or anything like that, it's on a completely separate network. It will also be more locked down than my standard network, and it won't have access to the rest of the network, and the rest of the network does not have access to it. So yeah, this machine is taking an awful long time to boot. I don't even know if it's booting off of CD, is it? Okay. Right, I'm gonna have to right, power on, hold down C. I can hear I can hear it chime, and I can hear the CD spin up, well, the DVD spin up. And it is the 10.4 DVD. Okay, anyway, we'll see if we can get OS 10.4 installed on this box. Doesn't seem to show me. Maybe it's not C, maybe it's Alt. I don't know. Okay, anyway, leave it with me. Let me figure something out, and hopefully I will have this machine up and running eventually. Good luck. Okay, so happy days. Managed to get this to set up. I've formatted the internal hard drive. There was nothing on it anyway. And now we're going to install OS 10. This is 10.4. Cannot remember what the hell 10.4 is. I think it's Tiger. So this is going to go off and do a DVD check. And yeah, hopefully we're good, and this will get installed, and then I'm going to reinstall 10 or 9.2.2 on the iBook. I think to start with, these are going to be on the wired network, connected to Ethernet, and eventually I'm hoping to get dial up up and running soon enough. There's actually some stuff on dial-up coming in the next few weeks or so. So yeah, if you're interested in that, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And yeah, so I'll get back to you once this is installed, and we'll see where we go. So, macOS is installed. I can't figure out how to turn off the volume. Off. There we go. Do not transfer my information. Irish keyboard. Connect. Oh, right. Different network setup. Local Ethernet. I'll leave that on disconnected for the moment. Ah, crap. Okay, so I have to enter details. Give me a second. Okay. So all of the questions have been asked. Where am I based? No. Dublin. There we go. What time is it? Well, it's definitely not 2005. Where are we? So it's 7th of 7th. No, 7th to the 8th. It's August already. Jesus. 2025. And it is currently, where we are? 21. No. Okay, so 9. Ah! 21. There we go. 21. Save. Continue. Done. Happy days. We are now online. Well, not online. Not connected, but Mac OS 10.4, whatever edition. I love how, alright, keys pressed on an external keyboard. I don't have an external keyboard plugged in, so ignore that. About this mic: 1.33 gigahertz PowerPC G4 with 2 gigs of RAM, and I've had this for many years now. So 10.4, happy days. Okay, so with that, I want to look at the battery's charging as well. Yoink. Yay! Battery on this thing works. And I got Bluetooth. Yeah, happy days. Okay. Anyway, that's enough for this for today. I'll shut these down, and I will be trying to get this connected to the internet at some stage tomorrow. Good luck. So, good morning. This is now, God only knows how long after the last part of the video. To you, it's instant. To me, it's been a long time. And I now have, my task was, I wanted to get dial-up working on a MacBook, on the iBook. You can't actually see. So this is the iBook G3, and I wanted to get this working, connecting to dial-up. So I'm using John Creasy's connection. I actually spelled his name wrong in the last one. There's no H in his name. I'm pronouncing his second name correctly. Anyway, we are now dialing. We do have phone hooked up. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that. I don't think this is going to actually connect, is it? No. So we're going to be kicked off. It didn't sound like it was happy. After living with this for whatever many years, I kind of know what a good and a bad. Yeah. We actually are connecting. Interesting enough. Probably going to be fairly slow speed. This is definitely not going to be anything more than about 28. I'd be surprised if it is. Anyway, my task for today's video, which is now a week over when I was supposed to be releasing this, was to get macOS running on this iBook. Okay, see, disconnected, didn't work, didn't like that for some reason. So let me try it again once it fully disconnects. So I wanted to get macOS running on this iBook, which I managed to do. Originally, I wanted to run 9.2.2. I think I can, yeah, authentication failed. Okay, so I think it's dial DIAL connect. So as far as I remember, the password on this is just dial and dial, or the username and password is dial and dial. This is using the serial ports asterisk box. So I'm going from here on a standard phone line. Well, it's not a standard phone line, but from here, phone cable down to a Linksys, I think it's a POP2. From the POP2, it's then connected to my 3PBX box upstairs. From that 3PBX box, it then is connected over the internet to the serial port, serialport.org, which is based somewhere in the States. And then John, by the looks of things, is based somewhere in the UK. Okay. Authenticating user. Let's see, does this work? By the looks of things, John is based somewhere in the UK. So it's kind of a, I go across the pond, back over to him, and then traffic from him goes back over across the pond back to me. So it's definitely multiple hops. The last time I did manage to connect, ping times were relatively high. Yeah, okay, so that's not connecting for some reason. It did partially work. I'm gonna try a different number. Let's see. So I got the serial port. I was having issues with connecting to the serial port as well. Funnily enough, while talking to the lads, yeah, authentication failed. So I don't know what's going on. Right, let's try dial up that world. If this doesn't work, you'll have to believe me that it is trying. So, it is trying to connect. It did connect at one stage. There is an Ethernet port on this laptop. but it's not working. I don't know whether it's software issue or hardware issue. This is running 10.2.4, macOS 10.2.4. I think the highest this will take is possibly 10.4. I do know I've got, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I am connected. 31k a second. If I go into Internet Explorer, I go frogfind.com. Will I actually get something loading? I think I'm set to use their proxies. So proxy might not be, so proxy. So if I turn off the proxy, because that might be why it's not working. So if I go, damn it. Right, so it just disconnected again. One more go. The PowerBook is working properly. I've managed to install macOS 10. I think it's 10.4. Cannot remember the code name for 10.4 off the top of my head, but I did manage to install 10.4 on it. So it's installed, it's working. The Ethernet port on it works. I'm guessing the dial-up works as well. I didn't try, but it should do. And yeah, so that was my task for this video. Get these up and running. Now, during the time of recording these videos, my original plan was I wanted to get one of these videos out every other week. So I released the first one 3 weeks ago. So I should have released this. This should have been released last weekend. It's going to be a week late, but the next one I'm hoping to have out in 2 weeks' time. The next one is going to be interesting in that it's either going to be playing with our phone lines. Right, so this is disconnecting again. Damn it. Right. So, anyway, it's either going to be playing with more phone related stuff. I've just got my hands on a Cisco 3945, along with the modems and all the other bits and pieces that are required. So, in theory, going forward, I won't need to be dialing outside of the house. The Cisco gear is going to be in the shed, and then I'll have cables running from the shed to in here, and then I'll be able to use them to dial up directly to the box that on my own end. And then the second set of videos is going to be on ISDN, because again, something I bought while surfing eBay was an ISDN. I can show you this. So it's an ISDN box. It has 2 Ethernet ports on the front. It has this port, which is listed as PPP, and then it has 4 more what look like Ethernet ports, but they're ISDN ports. And essentially, you can hook these up, and in theory, the PPP port and all the other ports allow dial-in to this over ISDN. It may even allow dial-in to this over analog. Like, there's my current analog ep2. So if this allows it dial into analog as well, it'll be even better. But I do have the big Cisco for that. I have an ISDN modem over there specifically for testing ISDN, and let me see if I can find. I also now have this, which is a PCIe modem, PCMCIe modem for there it is, my Scion Series 5. So Scion Series 5 has a there's a serial port on the back of it, and this has an adapter that runs from the Scion into that box, and then the serial or the Scion card, the gold card, is in here, and that then has support for both ISD, or well, it actually has ISDN, ISDN Ethernet, and ISDN Ethernet, GSM, and standard phones as well. So it seems to support a good chunk. Came in a nice box. Only issue, didn't have the cables. So I've ordered the cables. They're supposed to be here in the next couple of days. And then finally, on the floor under here is all of the, well, rubbish and stuff. But there is this box here, which is an Lenovo tower that is. Okay, cut that for a second. So under here we have the old Lenovo server. This is currently running. It's a quad-core processor. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. I think there's 5 gigabit network ports in it. Boots off a 256 gig SSD, but it has 8 960 gig Iron Wolf SSDs. There's a card is passed into a TrueNAS VM. So ESX boots, it sees its own disk. On that disk has the TrueNAS stuff, and then once TrueNAS boots, it then passes that drive or those drives back through ZFS. It's passed back through iSCSI back to localhost. I have managed to get a few older VMs, Windows NT 4 and Windows 2000 Pro, running on Proxmox, because originally I couldn't. I'm going to try if I can get Windows 95 and Windows 98 running on Proxmox, and if I can, then this box is going to be rebuilt to run Proxmox Direct. And then that way I don't have to have I don't have to use ESX, and I also don't have to use TrueNAS either. Everything can be on the one individual box, and then it'll cut down on number of resources that are required for playing with. So yeah, those videos are coming soon. If you are liking this sort of stuff, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that usual jazz, and I will see you in the next one, whatever that is. Thanks for watching. Good luck. Bye.